Winnipeg is home to the finest collection of Inuit art in the world. Since its opening in 2021, Quamajuq has been one of the crown jewels on Manitoba's art scene. From drawings, prints, textiles, and carvings, Quamajuq displays Inuit art and culture in a truly singular way to all patrons. On Saturday, May 24th, a new exhibition opens at the WAG-Qaumajuq, celebrating the remarkable work of sculptor and painter Abraham Anghik Ruben. Blending scenes of northern life with Norse mythology, Ruben's work is both captivating and deeply evocative. From the Louvre in Paris to the Smithsonian in Washington, Ruben's art has been featured in some of the most prestigious public, private, and corporate collections around the globe. In 2016, he was named to the Order of Canada in recognition of his artistic achievements. This is a rare opportunity for Winnipeggers to experience the beauty and intricacy of one of Canada's most celebrated artists, right here at home. And joining me here over Zoom to talk about Abraham Anghik Ruben's exhibit, I am joined by the curator for the exhibit, Heather Campbell. Hey, Heather, great to have you here.
Hello, thank you.
Mm. I want to first start out the conversation by asking about the exhibit. How did you get uh, chosen to curate the exhibit? Did the WAG reach out to you? How did this come about?
Yes, they did. I was actually in Winnipeg for an event that we had put together when I worked at the Inuit Art Foundation. So the Winnipeg Art Gallery had hosted the Quamajuq Memorial Award. So
Mm,
we were there for that event. And then I ended up speaking with Stephen and Darlene and a couple of the other team members about what was coming up. And that's how Um, they let me know what was going on.
mm. And just for our listeners, your role right now is you work, my understanding is you work for the Inuit Art Department at the National Art Gallery in Ottawa. Is that right?
Not anymore. No, I was there for a while as a curatorial assistant.
Mm,
Then I was at the Inuit Art Foundation as a strategic initiatives director. So I was basically managing the artist services department there, and that's kind of when what I was doing when I was visiting the WAG. Oh,
mm,
I guess it's more than a year ago now.
mm. Uh, when he was young, from what I gather, his family lived very much off the land. They hunted and they fished. And these experiences make their way into his art. Have you met him? And has he talked about that part of his life and how it makes its way into his sculptures?
Yes, we actually live on opposite sides of the country. So I'm based in in Labrador, and he's from the Western Arctic, but he lives in Salt Spring Island now in BC. So, yeah, it was getting tricky trying to figure out how we're going to come together to talk about the exhibition because I hadn't met him before.
Mm,
But we had a chance to meet sort of in the middle in Winnipeg before Christmas. And that was
okay.
an incredible experience because he told, the whole team kind of went through and spoke with him, and he talked a lot about his artwork and some of the mask pieces that he had in the exhibition that was there before. So, yeah, it was a real treat kind of getting to know him and to hear a lot of the stories directly from him.
Mm. I was doing some reading about you when I was prepping for the interview, and from what I gather, one of the things that you're interested in is the intersection between Aboriginal and non-Aboriginal cultures. Um, a lot of Rubens' sculptures make use of the Inuit daily life aspect of things, but he sort of mixes it in with Norse mythology. Is that something that really drew you to his art?
Um, well, he's a bit older than me, so I've been seeing his artwork in the Inuit Art Quarterly, since I was a teenager, basically. And I've always admired his work. But I think one of the things that makes him very special is that he is, fearless when it comes to his materials and to
Mm,
the themes in his work. If he's interested in something that isn't Inuit related, he's not afraid to explore that. And I think that's a bit rare, probably in the Inuit art world.
Mm. Um, yeah, can you talk about some of the materials that he uses to make his sculptures? And his sculptures are not very often quite large. They're quite heavy. Can you talk about some of the materials that he uses for his art?
Oh my goodness, probably a little bit of everything, but he does have a larger number of Brazilian soapstone pieces, but he also has a couple of very large whalebone vertebrae pieces, some ivory tusk from narwhal, um, and he's had some of his pieces cast in bronze as well.
Mm,
So, but one of the new things that we have in the exhibition is painting.
hmm
So, he had been a bit reluctant or nervous to try painting before the COVID pandemic. So when that was happening, that's when he, really took a leap and tried painting. So we'll see, we'll have sort of stories from him included in the labels in the exhibition. So you'll get to learn a bit more about all of that. Um, hopefully when you go check out the show.
hmm What are the paintings like?
They're very colorful.
Mm,
They were based on colors that he had observed in medieval texts, I believe it was. So they're sort of almost like primaries of blue, red, yellow, with like white and black sort of outlines. So very abstract, which is interesting when you consider a lot of his sculptures are very realistic. So it would be an interesting contrast to sort of see these paintings behind these very sort of classic and realistic sculptures.
mm. And for our Classic 107 listeners, if you want to see a piece of Ruben's art, you can just by going outside of the Quamajuq building. There's this huge limestone bear and two cubs. That is Abraham Ruben piece of art as well. It's just wonderful. Um, can you talk about how you gathered the pieces together? From what I gather, the exhibit contains about 100 pieces of his art. How did you gather all that and put it together for the exhibit?
Well, as you said, the Winnipeg Art Gallery already has an impressive collection. So we took from the what was already there, but we also borrowed a lot from Kipling Gallery and clients of theirs that they know have past works. We also have some pieces from the Richardson collection that are in Winnipeg as well.
Mm,
And yeah, we a couple of private collections as well.
fantastic. Um, the last time Ruben's work was shown at the WAG-Qaumajuq was 25 years ago. Were there pictures of that exhibit that you referred to when curating this latest exhibit? Like that you sort of were like, okay, that was shown at the last exhibit. Maybe not show that one, show something new. Like, how did that work?
Yeah, I work quite closely with Darlene, who's been the Inuit art curator there for many years. So she gave me a lot of guidance as to what's already been shown, or maybe ones that are sort of like the greatest hits that we wanted to include for sure. And the gallery owners at Kipling also did the same thing, as well as Abraham, of course. He always has the last say in everything because he's been doing this for a lot longer than I have. He knows he knows what he's doing and how he wants to show his work. So yeah, it was great to work with him because he already had everything kind of planned out in his own mind. And it was
Mm,
just me sort of coming in and saying, okay, it's great. But as someone who's sort of on the outside a bit, there are things that I still wanted to learn about him
yeah.
and that I could kind of sneak that in where necessary. So I think it'll be good.
hmm The exhibit spans 50 years, 1975 to 2025, and it brings focus on milestones in Abraham Ruben's life. Can you talk about some of those milestones and some of the things that you wanted to get across in the exhibit?
Yeah, it was difficult because as we sort of talked about before, his subject matter can be very broad, and the materials, as well as, I mean, just the time span is huge. So there
Mm,
was a definite challenge as to figuring out maybe what the themes were. And I think with Abraham himself, he likes to tell the mythology behind Inuit culture and Viking Norse culture.
mm.
So getting him to talk about himself was probably a bit more challenging. So we still have a chance to do that a bit with the upcoming catalog as well. But the way that I kind of approached it was he's very interested in the parallels between the two cultures. So
Mm,
I've broken it down into themes that are kind of loosely common in both cultures. So
yeah.
each section will have a mix of Inuit and Viking themes.
I saw an interview that he did where, like, for our listeners, Vikings were in northern Canada in like the 10th century. Like they were in, and they met Inuit people, and it's really interesting how he talks about how those two cultures sort of mixed and came together, and it really does come out in his art, right?
Oh, yeah, it's fascinating. I didn't actually know a whole lot about Viking culture before this. So I
Mm,
ended up doing a lot of reading over the summer of his catalogs, as well as doing my own online research. And yeah, it's interesting to see, I think, how the environment of whatever culture you're in it shapes the people
mm,
and what they believe. So I
yeah.
think it was that overlapping of northern cultures and how they expressed that relationship was very um, interesting to him. And then, of course, interesting to me as I was reading through it all.
Mm. Of all the art that's in the exhibit, I hesitate to ask this question, but is there one or two pieces that you saw that you just went, wow, that is incredible. That has to be shown.
Oh my goodness.
I guess
Um,
favorite pieces is where I'm going.
and there's a piece that's in the collection. People that from Winnipeg that have been to the gallery may have already seen it. It's a large whalebone piece that's up on the top floor, I believe it is. And um, he ended up getting this piece of whalebone when he went up north uh, with his son. I don't remember the year, but just it's about sort of the Inuvialuit culture, so the Inuit culture from the Western Arctic, and just knowing that it's so important to him personally, and it's also important to maybe a region of Inuit Nunanga that isn't it isn't as prevalent in the Inuit art world, which is the same for Labrador, which is where I'm from.
Mm,
So yeah, it was sort of a neat tie-in to include pieces that are, um, you know, a little bit different from maybe what you would see from Nunavut and Nunavik, which is northern
mm,
Quebec.
right, right, right. Heather, this has been so great to talk to you. I'm going to wrap up the conversation by asking, what are you most excited about the exhibit opening up on the 24th, about being here in Winnipeg?
Oh my goodness, I don't know. I'm more nervous than anything, I think, at this point. Yeah, I hope I know everyone will love the artwork and will love meeting Abraham and hearing his stories and um yeah, I think it'll be great to see him in action because I've only seen him connecting with the staff. So I have a feeling it's going to be brilliant to watch when I see him, talking to people individually at the exhibition opening and also telling his stories when we do a walkthrough. So yeah, it'll be an amazing learning experience for me as well, and I think for everyone that comes through.
Fantastic. Heather, this has been so great. All the best. The exhibit is going to be amazing. The art sells itself. Abraham Ruben's art is just spectacular. Thanks so much for taking the time to sit down and talk with me over Zoom. This has been fantastic.
No, thanks for having me.